Hello, hello, hello. Chat, are we live? Chat, are we live? We got excellent feedback on YouTube side. I don't know if you guys can see me. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but we are here. Let's go ahead and get going here. So can you guys see this screen here? I believe so. Let's go ahead and get a Premiere Pro project file open, a nice blank canvas. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, so I don't know why this. There we go. Okay, I think you guys are seeing it now. Sometimes you just gotta refresh it. I believe you are seeing what I'm seeing now. So let's go ahead and open up this new project. We'll call it C&D. Yeah. C&D6. I just want to make sure I didn't already create a project for this one. Skip that. All right. And we have, yep. Okay. Let's try to get someone in here first, just so I know this is going, so I don't record a whole thing and then realize that it wasn't working. So that would not be cool. So it looks like we're live. Let me go ahead and go here, share video link, and let me just share with all my peoples real quick. So just sending this off to a few of my peoples. You can hear and see. Okay, we got one person in here. Whoop whoop. So thank God. Livy, if you could just stay in and just make sure that everything is coming through. Basically, essentially, what I am going to be doing today is not even so much as important to me of getting people in the live stream, but just giving some value and editing these reels that I have to edit live, so I can kind of help teach along the way. I feel like it would be a great way. Me too. Vimy Scout, thank God. Thank you so much. All right, so just to give a brief explanation on what we're doing today, we have Reels. So from a law firm in Middletown, Connecticut, that is besides the fact, but basically I'm going to be giving away my workflow, how I feel like the best strategy is to get this task done of batch editing a whole bunch of reels, at once. Basically, how to execute your time most effectively doing this. So I think this will even work as a good guide for me, just to show that making a lot of edits in a short amount of time isn't daunting, and it is something that you can do if you have the right workflow and the right workarounds. You can honestly get this done in a very short amount of time. So let's go ahead and just set a timer. So 11:30 right now on the dot. Let's mark it now. 11:30. Let's see when we finish. So Carlson and Demir 6. Here is the footage, as you can see here in the bin. I'm just gonna go ahead and just drag all this. Obviously, you want to go ahead and make sure that your footage is organized in your folders beforehand, and then you're going to want to import it into the project. fans, what I like to do, first step, I'm going to be kind of doing a little more talking throughout it, so it might be a little bit longer, but you'll get the idea. First step I do is make separate sequences with all of my footage. So for social media reels, for a lot of content, you have A-roll and you have B-roll. So you want to make 2 separate sequences for that. So here I have the FX3 footage that I got all of. And 3 right now. Here. Essentially of the talking points. And just grab a seat right there, and that's the easiest way. So we want to touch up the audio, make cuts in. Mainly the B-roll is where we'll be cutting the most to the visual, and then the actual A-roll is where we will be cutting the most to the actual talking points. So it's good to keep it separated. So basically we'll go FX3. So once you drag the folder, all your clips onto the timeline, it creates a sequence. So I'm going to rename this FX full. So it's very important to constantly make new sequences as you go along. And it starts as a big sequence, and then you duplicate it and create a new one, or you start a new one by making a subsequence. I know it's a lot, but essentially you want to be able to work backwards. So all I do is just exit that, and it doesn't delete the sequence, it just removes it from the timeline. You still have it up here. And then you can go A7 III. So just to give you a brief explanation of how I went about shooting this, I have 2 cameras. I have the FX3 and the A7 III. When I shoot it, the FX3 is directly on center with the mics, and then the A7 III is set off to the side at a separate angle. And that's how I shot Brian, the second law firm lawyer. Excuse me, not law firm. The second lawyer that I shot, Brian, and boom. So I'm just gonna keep pushing through, and hopefully you guys can follow what I'm doing. So see, create a new sequence here, A7 III, full, and then I even got some drone footage as well of the courthouse and just the scenery, the community around them, and I believe I got some of their actual law firm. Yeah, so cool. So again, today's biggest step is going to be the sequencing and just that kind of nitty gritty stuff. Not really so much the creative, more so just the technical. Like the thing that I like about this part is I could literally tune into like music as I'm working, or I can, almost shut my brain off as I'm doing it. And then the next pass, which is like the creative, is when I'll actually have to lock in and listen to what I'm doing and pay full attention to it. But this is something I know I can, be not distracted, but be almost multitasking while I'm doing this. So let's start off with the FX3. So here are our 3 sequences. I would like to start with the FX3, mainly because it's the most I shot on. So you always want to bang out the biggest chunk, right? So you want to eat the frog before you eat your dessert, right? You want to do the hard part first, and it's not even that hard, right? So all we're going to do here, a huge tip, is labeling your clips. So just using labels to color coordinate your clips. So say everything that is Scott talking head, I'm going to highlight and label a color, yellow. And I have the labeling functions as a keyboard shortcut inside of Premiere, 1 through 8, all different colors. So instead of having to right click, go to label, and then click a color, you can simply just click a number on your keyboard. The numbers originally allow you to create multi-camera sequences. I never use that. You might. So if you do, use a different keyboard shortcut, but 1 through 8 for me works fine. Moving on here. So, and 3. So essentially here.
Driver's insurance company without
B-roll. This is B-roll, so I don't even need the audio. So I'm just going to disable the audio so I know.
Well, it's just right at eye level coming from the
And the mic was messing up just a few more air.
Two, yep.
So I'm just gonna disable the audio. I'm gonna label all of the B-roll brown. I can literally just delete the audio, just so I know, because the B-roll doesn't need audio. And here's more B-roll. I know this because I didn't even have the mic plugged in, so I can literally just go boom, and label it brown. So we're just
You can have serious injury.
and I don't know if you guys can hear. The audio was louder than you. Okay, so the audio on the computer is louder than how I'm talking. Thank you for letting me know that. I was just about to ask if anyone's in here. So let's see here if I go.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. I'm gonna drop that down. If you are in here, let me know
Has decided that if you want to help terrorists,
if that's better on your end.
That's the easiest
I
way
just
of
dropped.
Don't do that.
Legal TikTok may
Yeah.
be wildly entertaining.
So can you still hear me as he's talking?
And can often be misleading.
I dumbed it down a lot. It's at like -30 and I'm at full blast. So hopefully that fixed it. But anyways, real simple trick is just literally just going through here and seeing what we have for A-roll and B-roll and separating it. So as you can see here, all of the audio channels are on one channel. They're only going through my right ear on my headphones. So all you do to fix this, if you're recording with a lav mic, which does this, you go to audio channels and then you just switch both of them to right. So to go to audio channels, I have the keyboard shortcut Shift-C, but you can also right click on your clip and then go to audio channels and then just go to whatever side, do both sides for whatever side it's on, and then boom, hit OK. Great. Okay, so moving along here. I'm louder now. Okay, great. Warning. It says, are we still live here? What the? What in the world just happened? It's like I just got shut down. That's never happened before. Well, let me restart it then. It's never happened on live before, at least. Alright. If anyone's in here, if you're still on the live, Livy, if you can let me know that we're back and you can hear me and everything's good, please reciprocate that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just gonna shrink this down. Okay. You've been live this whole time. Beautiful.
Looks great. Here we go. And 3.
All A-roll, and then B-roll here.
Right over.
You're right.
Good to see it.
Install A-roll. This is B up to here. So boom, you're live, you're just scrolling. So just a good idea that just popped in my head is I feel like you could never overshoot B-roll, but you could overshoot A-roll, right? Like you could say the same thing over and over and over and over and over again and it can't really change that much. But you can always reshoot B-roll. You can get something that the wind could hit just the right way. You know what I mean? Or the lighting could just be so much better in one other spot. Whereas with A-roll, it's scripted, it's to the point, it's punchy, you want to bang that out. So if you're at a shoot, you're gonna want to execute the A roll flawlessly and get a good kind of routine for that. And then with the remaining time you have, go about getting more creative B roll, make a nice shot list to really enhance your shoot. So these are just thoughts that are coming in my head as I'm going through here. They're both equally as important, but one you can spend more time on. So this is all, so that's B-roll, this is all A-roll of Brian. Yeah, that's essentially nothing. Oh, no, that's a part of a reel, that's B-roll. But we'll keep it as A-roll because it's supposed to be right there anyways. Okay. So now you might be thinking, okay, great, Liam. Now you just have colored clips in your timeline. What does that do for me? So now what you can do with this is you can create another sequence of splitting in between A-roll and B-roll and still have this full sequence in case you got to pull from it. But what I want to do now is go to the A7 and just make sure that this, let's mark that yellow, and then for the drone, that is good how it is purple. So, great. So, yep, just like I said, we want all of these. So this is A-roll, boom. So I can literally just take this, drag it all to the end. Boom. This is all of our A-roll, and this is all of our B-roll. And what I can do here, which is a hack I don't know if too many people are put onto, is subsequence. So instead of making a new sequence, boom, going here, or deleting this, and then dragging these into a new sequence, you can literally just go like this, hit Shift U, and the sequence is already made of just the clips you had highlighted. Right? So this is A-roll. So it creates this. It says the same sequence is essentially duplicated, but not duplicated because you selected what you wanted from it. So you can just come here and then just go A-roll full. Boom. And then go back to FX3 full, highlight this, Shift U, make subsequence. Instead of coming to here, highlighting, and then hitting make subsequence, all you have to do is hit Shift U on it. Easy peasy. And then project, and then we'll go B-roll full. Great. And then great. And so we have A-roll full, B-roll full, and this is, I mean, it's just beautiful. We can remove all of the audio. We won't be needing that. And now what we can do in these sequences is make them all, make sure that they're all in the right format. So here we had Brian horizontally, so we're probably going to end up putting a frame around this shot. The reason why I didn't want to shoot vertically here, just so you can get inside of my thoughts, was I just liked the signage. You know, I just liked how the shot looked like this as opposed to flip vertically. There was a light hanging right here, so I wanted to be sure to crop it out. And I also got these, the A7 ones, vertically from the angle, so it just made the most sense for me. So what we want to do is we want to separate our two guys now. So we have all Scott, and we have all Brian. Let's just go ahead and highlight these, make it green, easy peasy. Scott does more so like punchliney takes, and Brian just goes for it. So that's why Brian's are a little longer and Scott's are like punchier. Everyone works differently, you know? So B-roll. B-roll's looking great. So what I'll do with the B-roll is I'll come through and I'll just grab my favorite parts of each clip. So I'm watching here. He picks his phone out of his pocket, like right there, like that, and then even the hand. Yep, that's what we need. So we'll raise that up, and then I switch angles. Boom. So I like that from here to here. With the signage, can't beat that. So I'll pick that up. And then see his hair sticking up here, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. So we're gonna go here. Let's go like here to here, just like that nice side profile. And I believe I shot this in, okay, maybe I did shoot this in 24, but for some reason I thought I might have shot this in 120. We could check by just trying to slow this down. Let's go 40. Optical flow. Yes, I did. So you get that nice buttery slow motion effect when you shoot in a higher frame rate. So I shot this in 60. And what helps a lot with the camera, if you are shooting in a higher frame rate, you have to double that shutter speed. So if you're shooting into the sun, if you're shooting something super bright, you can just shoot in slow motion or shoot in 120 and have that darker look because it's over. So I don't know. Just play with the cards you're dealt and what the universe gives you. You know what I mean? Like, don't overthink it. So yeah, we're kind of all over the place here right now, but I was just trying to show you how I would go about cutting up the B-roll. It's just going through, finding different angles, finding those good moments. Like here would have been a great shot, hair sticking up, so we're not even gonna pull it. Here with him smiling and talking, we're gonna use that. Except that's kind of a harsh tilt down there. But we can use up right before that tilt. Just for instance, boom. Killer, killer. That's all you need. Let me go ahead and drop this on my Instagram just to get some more live viewers in here, and I'm gonna continue to crush this. We started at 11:30. It's 11:48, and we're already done with the sequencing and the bins. So we are on to editing the B-roll. And let's go ahead and drop this and say, boom. Trying to get the link. I hear myself, that's awesome. All right. Let's do a quick little story post to my Instagram and Facebook. Join my live stream. Editing reels. Sweet. Boom. So I just posted the link to my social media accounts. Just try to get some more people in here. More people who see this, the better. I'm trying to reach as many people as possible. So if you join the live stream, you're getting some value. Even if you're watching this on the rerun, I don't feel like these get a lot of attention. So if you could maybe show some love anyway, anyhow, give it a like, give it a share, throw chat something in the chat. We're gonna right back into this. Okay. So we're gonna continue going through the B-roll, seeing what we like, skimming through this whole clip. So far on that, I saw about 3 things that I enjoyed. Right there, like those little lens flares, the hand gestures. Right as I'm start to pan there. Next video that I'm planning on making that is of the match cut composition pack-esque is going to be a camera movements guide. So I'm very excited to get that going. I have an idea for a toolkit for you guys to use in post on how to achieve these camera movements, or to at least enhance the transition between them. So this right here is good, just talking, and just keeping in mind that all of this was shot in a higher frame rate, so it can be slowed down. A little overexposed here. I think I shifted the ND a little bit. Yeah, it's a big smile. That's a big smile out of Scott. The sun was pretty harsh. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of much of this. Maybe you could work as like a headshot for a cover image, but in terms of B-roll, you probably usually don't want your subject to be looking into the lens. You know, you kind of want them to be focused and doing something in action. But yeah, we'll pull that. I like the shadows from the leaves on his face. Yeah, a little shake there and a lens flare, but not essential. Not essential to tell the story, I don't think. So this is a good shot of him with the signage. We'll honestly probably keep this whole thing. Like, we can make a cut here of him walking, and then right before I make that pan, and then restart it right as he gets in the frame here. So boom, boom. So again, this is just... Hey, what up, Omar? Yes, sir, we locked in. We got the yerba. Motion track the sign. Ooh, Omar Monsalvo with the creative idea. Don't even have to, bro. Don't even have to motion track the sign. But that's a great idea. Unless you have a different idea for it than what I'm thinking of, but that would be crazy. But yeah, I think that's good. We're just pulling. This is just the first pass of cutting the B-roll up. So we're just going through and picking those moments, you know what I mean? It's the nitty gritty. See, like right when he looks right there. Boom. We want that. Like, something that's gonna make the viewer feel something, you know? He's a lawyer. So if someone sees this, it's like, you know, he's contemplating, he's thinking, he's thinking of how to win your case. I don't know. shaky. So right here, I think we kind of lock it in. So right there is good. Motion tracking the sign would actually do wonders, Omar. Yeah. Got a good idea there. So I was trying to get like a cool shot here between the trees of their actual space and like a tilt down. Low key, I think this might be the best shot right here. A little shakiness. Yeah, like right there. Omar, that motion track's gonna come in, bro. The more and more as I'm seeing this, like some stabilization. The After Effects stabilization works wonders. It's decent in Premiere, but they don't got it like After Effects, bro. All right. I even like this right here, like peeking through the trees a little bit. Let's go. Boom. You never know. You never know. And the tilt down, I just don't like. We'll mark it. That's essentially all we're doing right now is just marking points. Marking in and out points. Fact stabilize is perfect. Yeah, it was. I don't know exactly what you meant by that, Omar. If it was already stabilized in the shot or if After Effects stabilize is perfect, but either of them, you got it. Either of them. Just having stabilized footage in general is perfect, bro. Unless you're trying to go for that super shaky handheld look to like have impact. Oh, dude, I'm loving this. So boom, we'll start it here as soon as I start. And right before he looks into the lens, I wish I told Scott this, our lawyer here. For B-roll, we never want to be looking at the camera unless it's something super duper dramatic or impactful. Like you expect for something like this, you want to be looking. Okay. Oh, we redid it. So he was probably telling me that we had to redo it. Yeah, no, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Yep, crushed it right before it tilts up. So I am working on the RS3 gimbal here. Pretty comfortable with that at this point. But yeah, I'm wondering why I went like that. Probably to try to crop out like the car, try to get a lower shot. I knew I was done there. All right, cool. So I was trying to get this shot. Peeking out from the bush. I think Scott went in at this point to talk to someone because he's an amazing lawyer and he gives away free consultations. So someone looked like he had a walk-in. So yeah, that with some stabilization, to go back to Omar's point, great point, would do wonders. And I would show an example right now, but that warp stabilizer effect can be quite hefty on your CPU. So just for the purpose of cranking through this, I think we're gonna stick with what we got here. This might be even smoother. Yeah, no, the truck. That's a hard shot. Like trying to keep something in frame at 50 millimeters or above, because it's so tight in. It's almost like that parallax effect where it's moving so quick. So you got to be super steady with the wrists and almost like use your body with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just rambling. Live chat. Where we at? Chat? Are we live or what? All I see is Omar, Livy, and Vimy Scout. Shout out Vimy Scout. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so we'll pull that for now. Like, I'm not too much in love with this. Maybe the cars passing are a good thing. You know. Oh. I think I just saw something on the... Ooh, you see that? There must have been someone turning with their headlights in the distance. Oh. On the numbers. Yeah. Yeah, we're keeping that. See, sometimes the universe... You know what? Not sometimes. The universe always works in your favor. You just gotta be looking for it. Like, ooh. That's all you need. We're not even gonna use that anymore. Tapping in from West Hartford. Nice, Omar. West Hartford is great, dude. Love that town. Everything about it, honestly. I was passing through West Hartford, actually, Omar, if you're still here, and I saw these Talkit Mountains, and I was just fiending to go on a nice hike on these Talkit Mountains. You know anything about Talkit Mountain? It looked like it was near West Hartford. So here's just some shot of their business cards, and I was going handheld here for sure. You can see the shaky wakiness, but maybe Hubline Tower is at the top of it, right? Not sure how to spell it. Yeah, bro. I was just literally just driving through, and I saw it on my like Apple Maps. I saw it on my Apple Maps, and I was like, yo, why have I not seen this? Is it in West Hartford? Yeah. But definitely want to check that out. Anybody else in the live stream? Drop something in the comments. Say what's up. Let me know if you have any questions on editing altogether. Reels. I would love to demonstrate anything for you. That's what this video is all about. So Scott had a client come in and he agreed to be on video, which was awesome. So we just wanted to make the most out of it. So we just got some shots of him kind of walking through. Some slow-mo stuff. Over the shoulder. What I've been realizing is such a powerful shot recently. It's just the OTS. The over the shoulder. It really just enhances the connection between two people. As you all know, watching movies, right? Like, that shot is in every talking scene. You know, you can't go without it. And shooting on a 50mm definitely has, I think, pushed me to get these more cinematic-like shots because it's so tight. Besides the blurriness there and the sharp aperture and focus. Let's cut it right when it fades in there. So he's just going over some documents, which is great. Scott, I mean, the more you can work with people who are good at improvising, the better. I mean, this guy Scott just pulled this disclosure agreement essentially out of his, nah. And it was just unplanned. It was just like, oh, hey, we're having a shoot day. You want to come film a little something real quick? The guy was like, yeah, sure. Very cool stuff. So it's awesome when people are willing to be on camera and show up. Means a lot to both of them, honestly. You know what I mean? This guy feels like he's doing Scott a favor. Scott feels like he's the man. This guy walks away with a free consultation. It's a win-win-win. All right, so here we got B-roll of them together. So, which is great. And then we just got B-roll of Brian. So I'm quickly just gonna label these different colors. And as you can see, I shot this horizontally because, and as I did there, because sometimes shooting vertical just don't cut it. Really don't. Sometimes you want to stretch the frame out a little longer. And for the longest, I'm like, oh, I have to shoot everything native vertically. I have to, but you could also work around it in so many different ways. Just 3 off the top of my head. You could extend this, not to get off topic here, you could extend the bottom and then blur the background and just have this. You could put a frame around it so it rounds the edges. You could punch it in, although that's probably not what you want to do because it crops it and it's getting rid of those edges, but there's just so many different techniques you can do to make horizontal vertical, and you can even make vertical horizontal, but that's a bit harder. Okay. Alright, so we shot horizontal up to here, so like when we flip it, I'm just gonna rotate it. Punch it in. We have anyone in the stream? What is going on, my people? Chat rate, views, cool. Looks like we have 17 views on the whole thing. Only 1 concurrent viewer. I think that means only 1 person's been watching throughout the whole thing. Great. Shout out to that 1 person. Shout out to you all for stopping by. So that's cool. Them talking. And Scott, if you do end up watching this, or if either of you guys end up watching this, the guy that I met walking by on the street complimented your jackets, your decorum, your get-togetherness, if that's even a word. But they're like, wow, yeah, those guys look the part. So boom. Yeah. So what I always tell them is like a good stern face from Bry and a nice happy smile from Scott to kind of show that good cop, bad cop always goes a long way. Nah, it's a joke, but Brian definitely comes across as like I don't even know what to call it, but the more stern guy, and Scott's the more friendly, I guess. But they're both lawyers, so they both have that, you know what I'm trying to say. So here they flip it back, so I flip it back. Boom. Do da dippity. Nice, yeah. Okay, I like the handshake. I like the handshake. again, back to Omar's point, some stabilization is going to go far away on this, but I believe this was shot in slow-mo, so let's take a peek at that. Yeah. That's killer. That's killer. So, boom. Yeah. Put that back in 100 because we'll remember to slow it down. And then we got some solos of Bry. Him picking up his phone. Looks a little overexposed on his face, but nothing color grade can't fix. And I like this whole kind of sequence here. Boom, maybe end it there. It's all great. Have him come back. So yeah, these in slow-mo. Like, let's just check it out real quick. Yeah, and all you need is a quick 2 seconds. That's all you need. Stacked together or stacked with some stock footage or, you know. Cool. Yeah, cool. And I mean, I'm sure everyone is, but I'm a sucker for a good lens flare. So anytime I can try to get a good lens flare for a transition, it's like right there. Something subtle, but boom. The sun was peeking over the side there. All right. And boom, he's walking out. Scott was in the back, so we're gonna cut it before Scott's in there. And we'll probably cut it like before he looks this way anyways. Yeah, just a quick little, I wanted to get the same shot for him that I got for Scott. Boom. So yeah. The court building. Good to have. And again, I'm hitting Command Shift K on these clips to just make these cuts as a keyboard shortcut. I think K would actually do. K alone? No, and Shift K alone would do. But I do Command Shift K as a habit because it cuts through the whole timeline, whereas Command K just cuts through what you're selected on. You can be a very good video editor without knowing keyboard shortcuts and without knowing the technical. You just might not be the most efficient video editor. You may not be able to bust out videos in quick amount of time. And I know I'm saying this and I'm already 50 minutes in, but the output I feel like is very important for when you do this as a business. If you're doing it for an art solely, I do it for the art and the business. If you're doing it for the art solely, you can have no idea how to edit and still come with a beautiful video just by having that blank canvas and just seeing what you want it to look like. You know, anyone can do it. It's very simple. You just like make simple cuts and drag around and make it look good. But to be efficient and to have a workflow is a whole different story. So that's my approach on how I want to go about providing value and teaching people. It's like it doesn't have to be daunting to have a batch load of content to be consistent and to show up in whatever space you're in, whatever field. If you fly drones, if you're a small business owner, any form of entrepreneur, it doesn't have to be daunting. Like, there's a process that you can follow. There's systems that you can do, shortcuts, and anyone has an iPhone today. All you need, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but all you need is one of these. Not to say this is the holy grail or the cream of everything, the cream of the crop, but you just need some iPhone, which you have in your pocket, and a stabilizer. You don't even need a stabilizer, but just something to kind of remind you to just hit record and document your life, document your days. And the part that I feel like puts a lot of people at a halt, at a stop, is when it comes to the post-production and having to distribute it. So it's just that last step in the process that we tend to overthink, and it doesn't have to be daunting. There's free tools. I was just in the real estate office the other day, and my friend Steve was just cranking out an edit on CapCut on his phone, and he was asking me for tips, and I thought making a great video. Like, you don't need to know all the ins and outs to make a good video. You just need I think it's important to have a vision of how you want it to look. Right? I think that's the most important part. And that just comes in the pre-planning. Inspiration. Get inspiration and learn from inspiration, but be yourself. Be creative. And then stop seeking inspiration once you get to a certain point. Like, have that in the end goal at the end of your mind is inspiration is temporary, just like motivation or happiness. Just a deep editing talk. Happiness, inspiration are temporary. Happiness, inspiration, and motivation are temporary. Right? Discipline. Peace of mind. Like those are not temporary. Like, those are real sustainable things. Willpower. It's great to be inspired, and it's great to have role models and mentors and all that. It's amazing, and you need it. But just know, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. And having a team should be end goal. Having something bigger than yourself. Boom. So, after ranting for about 10 minutes, we finished cutting up the B-roll. Insert little fireworks here. Psh. If I had an admin working on my live stream, I would have him like, psh, like, do the congratulations. So we organized Premiere, we made bins, we made a sequence, we edited the B-roll. Now it's time to edit the A-roll. You guessed it. And we are just under an hour in. So I'm going to go ahead to projects. I'm going to go to B-roll full. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to go B-roll cut. Go into that B-roll cut sequence, and I'm going to delete everything underneath. I'm going to highlight everything on top. Go to sequence, do close gap. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. all of your B-roll cut up, ready to be overlaid on your A-roll. Now the reason I do the B-roll first, whether it's a business reel batch edit, whether it's a music video, whether it's a wedding, whether it's you can foresee the project. I used to always chop up the B-roll last as the final touch, but it's good to edit it first, get it out of the way, envision. Now when you go back and watch the A-roll and make cuts in the talking points, you can remember, oh, I remember that clip. I remember that face he made. I remember that signage post I got. That'd go perfect here. So it's just good to do that first. We have 20 views in here so far. If you are in here, make sure you leave a comment, say something in the chat, share it with the friends, and leave a like or do whatever you gotta do. You know, scratch your balls. I don't know. Sip your coffee. Just do something to get you where you gotta go. That was silly. Alright. A-roll, full. So we have all of the A-roll here, besides the A7 stuff that I shot at a second angle for Bryce. So we're just gonna drag that in. Okay. And we're actually gonna make that a different color, just so we know. So this is all of Brian, and this is all of Scott. The reason we have so much of Brian is because we shot it at 2 different angles of 2 different cameras. So we are going to sync these together with Brian, and then we're going to cut all of the dead space. We're going to create all of the reels and just make the cuts that need to be made to make these into beautiful Instagram reels and YouTube shorts and TikToks. It's kind of the brute force of the project. This is where you definitely want to lock and dial in, put some headphones in. So yeah, we're just gonna go through here, exit out of this, exit out of this, and then we're gonna go ahead and take the A-roll full, and we're gonna create another subsequence of just Scott's. Name this Scott A-roll, and then we're gonna highlight all this and do Brian A-roll. Amazing. And then so we can delete. No. We could, but we're not gonna. So we have the A-roll full still. So now we have just Scott and just Brian. Fantastic. So we shot 5 with Scott, 5 with Brian. First step that we want to do, just to get it out of the way, right? So what is the one thing that you can do right now that is going to make everything else easier or unnecessary? In my mind, in this project, syncing up Brian's footage from the 2 different angles is probably the most valuable use of my time. So start here. Brian. So boom. As a matter of fact, we redid all of these. I actually had him reshoot the first 3. I felt so bad because I set the setup like this with the pens and the notepad and the calculator, and then later I realized it looks so much cleaner without it. So I'm like, oh, dude, Brian, you're gonna hate me, but boom. So the first three we're gonna get rid of. So we're just gonna rotate these. Boom. We can go Command C, highlight them all. Option Command V. Scale attribute motion. Boom. So they all go like dots. Command C on that first one. Boom. What we're actually gonna do is we're gonna go to sequence settings, and we're gonna make this 1080 1920. Boom. We're gonna go here, highlight, and go fit to frame. And then here we're gonna go fill frame. Fit to frame. Oh boy, all good. We gotta rotate again. 90. And then boom. 50 scale. So these are all shot in 4K. We're making the sequence 1080 for social, in case you were wondering. Only thing I didn't. Okay, cool. So we got the same. So we can just start to overlay it like this. Because each take we did on the same camera at the same time. So we know this matches up here. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Time matters, yes. But what's more important is what you can do now. Yeah, it's just pursues.
Come across this weird. TikTok, you come across. All right, cool, cool, cool.
Yes. But what's more important is what you can do now.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Invoke your right to talk to an attorney, and please don't post it. Don't post it online too. Yeah, honey.
All right. Great. So all we want to do is sync these. So we're going to go ahead here. We're going to sync this bad boy up. And a match couldn't be found. No problem at all. We're going to do it manually. So here's what we're going to do. Extend that. For each one, we're just going to find the audio waveforms. Sync it up.
Stop talking.
Boom. Easy peasy. nice and tight. Nice. This one we shot on its own. This one was him pretending to scroll on TikTok.
What is he, Dan?
Live here, you're scrolling on TikTok, you come across this weird guy, what the this weird...
What is he, dance? You come across this weird...
So I just marked where I said weird, so I know to just bring that right on the mark point.
You come across this weird
Guy, what the freak? And we're almost there.
What is he, dancing?
Cool, but we actually don't need audio for that, so boom. And then just coming here, zooming in, dropping back, and finding it like so. One over like that. That's good enough.
Legal TikTok.
And so the good thing about the other A-roll with Scott is we didn't do 2 separate camera angles, so we just got to take care of this for Bri. We shot all of Scott's outside on the gimbal, so it's good to get that variety, indoor and outdoor, with 2 different lawyers, which is amazing. All in one shoot day, 10 reels. So yeah, so this, your boy has arrived. Dill, let's go. I don't know when you sent that, I just looked, but it looks like it was somewhere around this time. Thank God. Coming in from CT, love to see the work ethic. Amen, Dill. Thanks for popping out, dude. Let me know how the stream's looking, how I'm sounding, all that good stuff. We're clocking in. We're just editing some reels for this local law firm. So we're syncing up clips right now for one of the lawyers, and we just finished that up, which is great. And then we're gonna go over to Scott's, and now is where we're gonna actually listen to it and make the cut points. So you guys get to come along on this cut journey.
3, 2, yep.
Boom.
Did you know the first few minutes after a motor vehicle accident can be some of the most important, even if you think the accident was minor?
Just Command Shift K there.
Is that
Q.
more or less what we were looking for?
I mean, it wasn't word for word, but make or break your case.
Nicholas X, do you just edit their videos or do you shoot for them too? I shoot for them too. Great question, Nick. It's been a minute, Nick. Hope you're doing well, but I do both. I come up with the scripts, the ideas for all the content. I shoot, I edit them, and I also post it for them. That has kind of been my rule of my golden for the done for you package for my business. Ideally, if I'm just editing, that would be my ideal situation. But as I think you know, I'm more of a natural editor, but I can shoot too, if that makes sense. And I think, after seeing your work, I know you're pretty well rounded as well. But yeah.
Can you do that again? Is that more or less what we were looking for?
I mean, it wasn't word for word, but make or break your case. Okay, do that again. Did you know the first few minutes after car accident, make or break your case? The wind is hitting the back of my head and blowing my hair this way. So I don't know what it looks like on camera, but the first few minutes after your motor vehicle accident.
3, 2, yes, sir.
Did you know
Yes, sir.
So he redid the hook.
Did you know the first few minutes after your motor vehicle accident can make
But yeah,
Did you know-
Nick, you've done some crazy music videos, brother.
Oh, the first few minutes after your motor vehicle accident can make or break your case.
Cool. If you've been in a car accident, even a minor one, there are a few things you must.
Like basically, if I could have someone shoot for me, like take that off of my workflow, take that out, and I can just edit it, and you can come up with the ideas and post it. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. I like you're in Brian's group as well. I like the idea of location freedom and time freedom, and having to go out and shoot this kind of resists that dream, I guess. Like, but you know, not everything's perfect, and I actually do enjoy shooting as well. But thank you, man. It's been a while. Glad to see you're doing good, man. Yes, absolutely, man. Are you still in LA? If you're still around, let me know if you're still in LA, crushing music videos.
Okay, cool.
If you've been in a car accident, even a minor one, there are a few things you must do immediately to protect your health and injuries. Okay. Kind of a long one, though. 3, 2, yes, sir. An injuries only surface. 3, 2, yes, sir.
If you've been in a motor vehicle accident, even a minor one, there are a few things you must do right away to protect your health and your case.
Money.
I think we get that. First, calm.
3, 2, yes, sir.
First, call 911. Even if it feels minor, certain injuries only surface later. Make sure you get checked out.
So yeah, just hitting Q and W on my keyboard as shortcuts to cut to the left or to the right.
Second, document everything. Get photos of the scenes, license plates, and any visible injuries.
Amazing.
Visible injuries.
See, he's killing it. The smile right after, like you can't teach that. You know?
Third, don't talk to the other driver's insurance company without proper legal guidance. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless others just like you navigate complex cases and make sure that we protect your case.
3, 2, yes, sir.
Third, don't.
Yeah, we did a redo of that last one because I wanted
talk to the other.
I wanted him to walk in front of the sign, not just me
Don't
pan to
talk
the
to
sign.
the other driver's insurance company without getting appropriate legal guidance. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless other individuals just like you, and your actions in those first few minutes can make or break your case.
Crushed it. I mean, crushed it, dude. These guys are naturals. So now that's the end of the first reel. So I'm gonna hit A on my keyboard to select everything after, and just drag it out to give me some space.
Ready
Right?
and 3. Ready and 3, 2.
There's no ambulance.
I'm just gonna take out that audio before how he kind of clicks it, like before. We don't want that.
Does-
Even drop that down a little bit more.
Does no ambulance ride mean no case?
Great.
I think I had him redo it.
Move a half step that way, please.
This way?
Yes. Looks great. Here we go. And 3, 2, yes, sir.
Does no
Yep.
ambulance does no ambulance ride mean no case?
Yup. Yup. 3, 2, yep.
So one of the biggest
Yes, sir. I am still in LA. Kind of stepped a little away from the music videos for a while and just chilled with family and traveled a bit and started learning motion graphics. Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I haven't seen much from you. You were, I mean, I think I reached out and was showing love. Some of the music videos you were doing were very unique and very aesthetically pleasing, and you definitely brought your own style to it, which goes a long way. Focusing on learning motion graphics, that's dope. Like After Effects stuff, Um, I'd love to hear more about that. Maybe we can hop on a call just to catch up and travel a bit. Yeah, man, I definitely want to do some more traveling. That's dope, bro. I'm very intrigued to hear about what kind of motion graphics, like 3D or I like. You had that one pack that was crazy with the colors, um, like that color ball thing. I don't know if it was an overlay or if it was an actual like preset, but that thing looks sick. And yeah, some really creative effects on your music videos. But dude, sometimes taking a step away from it goes a long way. You know, just kind of resetting. And when you come back to it, you have that clear mind.
So one of the biggest myths that we hear is that if I didn't take an ambulance ride, I don't have a case. That's just not true.
I'm so glad you joined the live, man. It means the world. It really does.
Let me read it one more time. Okay.
I think he redid this line.
You can have a series may not show up for
3, 2, yes, sir.
You can have a serious. Hold on. Let me start over.
Yeah.
Yep. You can have it.
You can have serious injuries and still walk away. Some injuries may not show up for hours, even days later. The key? Don't ignore your body. Make sure you get treatment as soon as symptoms arrive, and contact us. We'll fight to prove it.
Haha, dude, that's crazy how you remember so much stuff. LMAO, you made my day, brother. Let's for sure hop on a call soon. Let's go, bro. Love to hear it. Yeah, I'm still very much so into like the music video world, like that whole space. I kind of stepped my foot outside of it as well, to focus on like more like business content, social media content, working with businesses where I'm from, which is Connecticut. But like you were saying, you were traveling. I'm looking to travel, so definitely gonna hop on that call and catch up, like a real catch up. No mustard. That was dumb. That was so dumb. Real catch up, no mustard. But yeah, bro. I'm glad I made your day. You made my day on everything. So appreciate you stopping by. Get after it, man. Have a great Tuesday. All that good stuff.
And contact us. We'll fight to prove it.
And 3, 2, yes, sir.
You can have serious injuries and still walk away. Some injuries
May not show up for hours, even days later. The key? Don't ignore your body. Make sure that you get treatment as soon as injuries arise. You may still have a serious case, and we'll fight to prove it.
Nice, Scott. Dude, this guy's a killer. Content killer. Put some W's in the chat for Scott.
we'll fight to prove it.
Here we go. And 3, 2, yes, sir.
One of the most frequent questions
All right, so this is a whole new one. So again, hitting A and then just dragging.
we get. One of the most frequent questions we get is, should I talk to the other driver's insurance company?
We definitely redid that because of the
2,
wind.
yes, sir.
One of the most
Yeah.
One of the most frequent questions we get is, should I talk to the other driver's insurance company?
And 3, 2, yes, sir.
The other driver's insurance company is not your friend. It's their job to settle with you as quickly and cheaply as possible.
3, 2,
You're not legally required
Speak with them, and as a matter of fact, we recommend you don't. At Carlson and Demir, we'll do the talking for you. We know their tactics, and we'll make sure that we protect your rights.
I think I butchered the end a little bit.
Thank you, man. I'll leave the stream on while I work today. Let's go, bro. That's literally what I want this to be. Is just like you come vibe. It's definitely a work in progress. It's my 3rd live stream ever, but I think I'm gonna do this more often and just vibe. Like I got a candle going. It's just kind of keeping me locked in. If that makes sense.
You're not legally
But I'm stoked that you're gonna keep it on while you work, bro.
You're not legally required to speak with them, and as a matter of fact, we recommend you don't. Let us do the talking. At Carlson and Demir, we're familiar with their tactics and know how to protect your rights.
Boom. Killed it. loud.
This
So, new one. Boom.
This is why you should never admit fault after an accident, even if you think you might be at fault.
I just want to let you guys know that these 5 different scenes are literally within 50 feet of each other. Not even, maybe 30 feet. Like, you don't have to overthink production. You know, you could have a general idea for a few different shots, have a few different wardrobes, have a few different locations, I guess. But in this case, we had one location. We had on the sidewalk, on the porch, in front of a mock courtroom building, in front of a stop sign, in front of a car, and then inside the office. Like, and that was all boom, boom, boom. Just different angles, different looks, different colors, different wardrobes, all go a long way, especially when you're batch recording. And I think batch recording is the most efficient way for business owners who don't have the time or mental bandwidth to keep up with the curation of content, right? So obviously, if you have long form pieces of content on YouTube, if you're shooting the content yourself every day, of course that's better than having timeless content lined up for you to post, but it does the job, right? So that's kind of what I supply for businesses. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to get you 10 million more sales. I'm not saying I'm going to completely shift your business. Maybe it will, hopefully it will. Hopefully we do go viral, but we keep you consistent. We show up, and I mean,
admit fault.
it seems to work for most, you know, it seems to work for most. And having that timeless content, it allows you to mix in the timely content. So having the free content, the organic content, which is what I supply, right? It gives you that platform, that presence to run an ad. It gives you that ability to connect more with your audience on your own. So already having that rollout ready to go, I think goes a long way for my clients.
After an accident, even if you think you might be at fault.
3, 2, yes, sir.
After an accident, you might be tempted to say, "I'm sorry." But those words can later be twisted into an admission of fault, even if you weren't responsible.
And 3,
Sometimes I think I just ramble on too much.
2, yes, sir.
Let the investigation play out.
Don't speculate. Don't assume. Let us review the facts, the police report, the body-worn camera footage, and the accident reconstruction. We'll do everything we can to make sure we get to the bottom of the truth, because the truth matters.
And just to fast forward on your keyboard, I'm sure most of you know this, L and J in Premiere are going to allow you to speed up or fast reverse your footage. And that's helped me a lot just in my workflow.
Let the investigation play out.
And K pauses.
Don't
So
assume,
JKL.
certainly don't speculate.
Speed up, slow down, pause.
And 3,
This car's loud as fuck.
5,
And so does your case.
5, and 3, 2.
Let us review the facts of your case. The police report, witness statements, dash cam footage. The truth matters, and so does your case.
Lovely. So some
Witness statement.
someone might hear the audio and be like, "Oh, but dude, you can hear the car speeding by, and dude, like the shot, like it's not perfect, but maybe it adds to it, you know, like
the bottom of the truth. This report, the body-worn camera, an admission of
all that, the car sound effect, being outside, the wind hitting him, like it kind of adds to it, you know. Something beautiful about just kind of running and gunning. You know, there's something really, I think, beautiful about that, and it's popularized in the music video industry. Why can't it be applied to to small businesses? You know.
Here's how a dash camera can save your I already screwed it up, so I was thinking of something else. Here's how a dash cam can protect your rights and be a game changer.
And yet it's not even run and gun because we have the whole treatment, we have the whole pre-planning, the scripts, the content ideas. It's just, we're not gonna be like a, mailman media, me like running the business. It's not a full production company. Essentially, you're not spending crazy amount of money on all these super finite logistics and having to be here and there, which is great, which I love and which you should invest in if you want that. But why not just come up with it on yourself? Yo, supporting my boy. What up, Cement Fitness? Glad to have you here, my man. We're just editing some reels, just talking about some tactics, some of the best techniques and ways that I go about chopping up reels for business owners and entrepreneurs alike. So,
Be a game changer.
3, 2, yes, sir.
When it's your word against theirs, dash cam footage ends up being the judge. We've had countless cases where clients have falsely been accused of being in the wrong, but when the dash camera is revealed, most clients' stories change.
So this really was a good piece because it tied into a case they just won of how they got someone's case completely expunged and exposed actually the officer for having wrong accusations on this. I think he was like a 19-year-old kid who was caught for speeding, yet he was sleeping in his house when this all went down, and the cops went to his house and arrested him, and it wasn't him. They had the wrong car, and so essentially with the dash cam footage they were able to find out that it wasn't the guy because it showed the time and where the car was. So just, my expertise is video, but working with these guys, like, get a dash cam if you drive and you don't want to be in fault.
Investing in a dash camera is one of the smartest, low-cost things you can do to protect yourself on a road. If you've been in a crash, bring us the footage. We'll take it from there.
So yeah, don't overthink content, just use stories that you've already have, use experiences. Don't worry about being super creative or comparing yourself to other creators. Just do what feels natural, and that's how you're gonna create the best content. So that's it for Scott with the A-roll.
1-1. Case.
Now we're gonna go to the Brian A-roll. And we're just gonna make cuts here.
Being falsely accused of a...
Here we go.
Being falsely accused of a crime is terrifying, but the worst thing you can do is try and talk your way out of it.
So Brian does it punch by punch. Actually, they both do it punch by punch, but I shot the whole thing for Brian's takes, whereas I'm stopping recording in between all of Scott's takes, mainly because Scott was outside. I had the camera in my hands. I had one camera, and he had the thing in his pocket, whereas Brian had it on the table next to him, and I had a 2-camera setup, so we just ran it through for the whole time. Just some sauce.
The moment you realize you're under investigation, stop talking. Invoke your right to a talk. The moment you realize you're The moment you realize you're under investigation, stop talking. Invoke your right to talk to an attorney immediately.
So just to show you,
I like the don't post it. The moment you realize.
That's the same. So we're just gonna cut that.
Stop talking. Being falsely accused of a crime is terrifying, but the worst thing you can do is trying to talk your way out of it. The moment you realize you're under investigation. Being falsely accused of a crime is terrifying, but the worst thing you can do is trying to talk your way out of it. The moment you realize being Being falsely
So yeah, just to show you the importance of why you shoot at two different angles. If when you are making these cuts and it's punch by punch, it makes it more seamless between the cuts when you have two separate camera angles. So just for instance here,
do is trying to talk your way out of it. The moment you realize
as opposed to this kind of harsh jump cut,
talk your way out of it. The moment
right?
your way out of it. The moment you realize you're under investigation, stop talking immediately. Invoke your right to talk to an attorney, and please don't post about it online.
Yes.
At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless clients clear their name of being falsely accused. At Carlson and Demir, we have helped. At Carlson and Demir, we've clients. Carlson and Demir, we have helped countless clients help clear their name from being falsely accused by acting smart and fast. Fast.
One thing I didn't really get about that was just help twice. Okay. We've helped clients, help them get
Okay, yeah. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless clients get their names. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless clients clear their names by acting fast and smart. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless clients clear their names by acting fast and smart. Please let us do the talking. Your future depends on it.
Beautiful. So that is the first one done.
Being falsely accused of a crime is terrifying, but the worst thing you can do is trying to talk your way out of it. The moment you realize you're under investigation, stop talking immediately. Invoke your right to talk to an attorney, and please don't post about it online. At Carlson and Demir, we've helped countless clients clear their names by acting fast and smart. Please let us do.
And then you can just highlight all of this, hit Command Shift D on the audio, and it creates these. If you watch my match cut path guide video, tongue twister, you know that this is just the secret sauce to blending audio together.
Please.
Right. So let's come here. Command Shift K to cut
Think
through.
you've waited too long to contact an attorney after an arrest or accident? Think you've waited too long to contact an attorney? Think you've waited too long to contact an attorney after an arrest or an accident?
Don't count yourself out just yet.
We've had clients come to us months later, and we're still able to build a strong case. Time does matter, but it also matters what you're doing now. Give Carlson and Demir a call. Let's see what's possible together.
Boom. All this talking here, I don't know.
Time matters, yes. But what's more important is what you can do now.
I think we redid that. Yeah, I think this was a part of here.
Time matters, yes.
Yeah, so we just redid that. We just redid that right here. So instead of hitting Command Shift K, I'm just gonna use the cut tool so I can manually pick where I want to cut. Boom, boom, boom. And I think we're just, yeah, boom, cut down there. Boom, 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 and boom, and we want to stretch that out. Now that's synced up here. So basically, just to explain what just happened there is I had him redo the last take because I didn't like the just the verbiage.
Give Carlson and Demir a call. Let's see what's possible together. Time matters, yes. But what's more important is what you can do now. It does matter, but it also matters what you're doing now.
Yeah. It was that second to last line. I think I wanted to just be a little more punchier.
Time matters, yes. But what's more important is what you can do now. Give Carlson and Demir a call. Let's see what's possible together.
Beautiful. Second one done. We should have 3 more. Yep. I don't know what this is. Okay, so this is the hook for this one.
Wildly misleading.
So we just want an angle of him kind of looking at his phone and like shaking his head like, ah, these TikTokers. Yeah. So like that's good. So right here, he puts his head up on that mark. So we're gonna try to find that here. So just using that marker to line it up. So something like this. And like, let's punch this in to be the full frame just for this one. 'Cause why the heck not? Perfect. So that's the hook. And I'm gonna overlay some stupid TikTok like before this, like from his perspective, he sees it and then
Legal TikTok may be entertaining, but it can be wildly misleading because it's not focused on your specific legal need.
Love it. Every case is different. Connecticut law is different from Florida or California.
Every case is different. California law and Florida law are different than Connecticut law. Don't risk your future on a 30-second online clip. Talk to a real attorney that can actually help your legal need.
boom.
Some firms prepare your case to settle, not us.
Just to settle. I don't know what that matters. But that's fine. That's fine. I'll do it.
Some firms prepare your
See what one we like better.
Some firms prepare your case to settle, not us. Some firms prepare your case just to settle.
Just to settle.
But
Yeah.
not us.
That's what we want.
But not us. At Carlson and Demir, we treat every case like it's going to trial. Why? Because it shows insurance companies we mean business.
Only thing is, at Carlson, we treat every case like it's in trial from.
At Carlson and Demir, we treat every case like it's going to trial from the beginning. Why? Because it shows insurance companies we mean business.
Okay. Yeah.
Business. Okay.
Yeah.
Little slight pause, but nothing editing can't fix, you know?
Trial from the beginning. Why? Because it shows insurance companies we mean business.
Okay. Yeah.
That preparation from the ground up.
I like the ground up at the end. Oh no, ground up is the next one.
That preparation from the ground up. No, I like the ground up at the end.
Oh no, ground up is the next one. Right. Okay.
That preparation gets us better results and money in your pocket. Nope, I don't like that. That preparation gets us better results and gets you more money in your pocket. Whether we settle your case or try your case, that's how we preserve justice.
I forgot already.
Your medical records tell a story of your injury, but unfortunately all doctors don't the same way. The same way. That's why we
just cutting through like butter, using the audio waveforms as your guide, you know? Like, you don't even have to really listen to it. You can literally just cut out the dead space, and it might not be right there, but
records are insurance companies value.
So duplicate there.
Insurance companies value what they can put their hands on, and medical records tells that story. That's why we make sure it's documented from the ground up. Is that all right?
I like it. Just do one more time.
Yeah. I'll just do it your way. You whichever way you like it, I'll do it.
He was putting his spin on it, and he wasn't sticking to the script. And I'm like, oh, can you say it like this? And he's like, I'll do it your way. So let's find out which one we like better.
The way your case is valued. We do it right from the ground up.
No, yeah, you just whatever you want. Typically, I like it when they do their own spin-off and put their own kind of creative twist on it, but for some reason for this one, I think I liked how the script sounded more. I think it's because it was more concise, but let's check it out.
Correctly. Insurance companies value what they can put their hands on, and medical records tells that story. That's why we make sure it's documented from the ground up. It makes a major difference in the way your case is valued. We do it right from the ground up.
Okay, yeah. I think I already deleted
We make sure
the other one.
Is valued. Is that all right?
Just one more time.
I'll just do it your way. You whichever way you like it, I'll do it your way.
Your way because it tells your story.
I'm doing it your way, and then you choose what they can put their hands on, and medical records tells that story. That's why we make sure it's documented from the ground up. It makes a major difference in the way your case is valued. We do it right from the ground up. Insurance companies value what they can put their hands on, and medical records tells that story. That's why we make sure it's documented from the ground up. It makes a major difference.
All right, so that's it. 5 and 5 reels. 5 for Brian, 5 for Scott, and so now we have these reels
Being
done, essentially. And now the next step that you want to do before you create subsequences for all of the reels inside of the full A-reel sequences is, drumroll, add text. So adding captions. So what I'm going to do, because I already have a caption style preset for Carlson and Demir, this brand that I work with, I'm going to go ahead and find haven't been checking my messages all day. Got a couple messages I got to follow up on, but 2 more steps and then I'm probably going to sign off here. How long are we in this live stream? It's probably been about 2 hours, but we are going to finish editing the A-roll, which we just did. We're going to add captions to all of this using the text style preset, which is right here, which is great. You can export it to your desktop so you can reuse it in all of your projects. If you work with separate brands, this is a great technique that you're going to want to do. And we're just going to add some branding at the end just to kind of simplify it. And then we're going to export it and send it over to the actual clients for their review of the rough batch edit. So they can take a good look, make sure they like everything, if they want, right? If they please. And then each one of the final products will be delivered 24 hours before we actually go about posting it. So again, this is just a rough batch edit. I just want to show you how you can go about doing this simply, like with strategy, with a certain workflow in mind. I think that's how you should approach all your edits. I think that's how you should approach life, is kind of developing a workflow and trying to find that flow state and simplify your life, your sequence, right? All the sequences you have in life, all the moments should be able to be in flow state and synced up. So appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you're still in the chat, leave a W, show some love. Anything would be great. So we have all the B-roll chopped up. We have the A-roll done for both Brian and Scott. Now the final thing, which is great, we can sit back and let Premiere, Adobe Sensei work. So this is Adobe's AI. It's been around for years. You know, AI is crazy now, but just the good old school Adobe AI transcripts, transcribing text, adding captions is a beautiful feature. So we're gonna create captions from transcript. Boom. We're gonna go caption preferences. We're gonna go style TNR. That is what I named it because they like their font in Times New Roman. We'll put 14. I like to go around 14 to 15 maximum length in characters, always single lines, transcribe and create captions. I'm just gonna automatically do that in exact style that I want it. And boom, there it is. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that sweet? And you can play around with it from there. You can go to window and properties and just adjust that. I'd say industry standard is right below the chin for reels. You want it to be right in the middle of the frame ideally so the eye can easily see it, but under the chin works.
Is what you can do.
If you have a frame like this, I think it looks best when you kind of crop that like this in a sense. So I actually might end up, if I were to like lock this in right now, I'd probably actually drop this down, right? Matter of fact, I'm gonna let it just be where it was in the beginning, which I believe is right there. And so I would take this and then I would bump it up. Okay. Then I would take this, and instead of dragging the text up to his chin, I'd punch him in and bring the chin to the text. You know? Like, boom. Because we're shooting in 4K, because we're in a 1080 timeline sequence, we can afford to punch in the 4K clip, which is awesome. And for this, what I would do is I would go to my composition pack and I would add a frame on it just to make it look a little more cinematic and professional. So boom, frames, oops. So here is the 3 frames that I have in my composition pack. You can download that for free on my website. You can just go ahead and drag that on top and instantly just ready. Just adjusting like so. And voila. Alright? Just making that look how you want it. I think that's good right there. 57.5 should clean it up.
Is terrifying.
And then if you really want to get it in there, like, see, I might want that logo in there a little more. You can always shift it like this. No, honestly, it was perfect how it was. But I was going to say you could crop the bottom if it's hanging off, or like crop the top. You can use the crop tool to just crop it in there to fit in the frame. But we are good right there.
Being falsely accused of a crime is terrifying. But the worst thing you can do is trying to talk your way out of it. The moment you realize you're
Right, so those are probably the 2 different looks we're gonna have for Brian's A-roll. And you can see the captions are added beautifully. And it helps so much working with people who speak clearly and fluently. So the captions can actually read, the transcription can actually read what they're saying better, so the captions don't need too much editing, right? So
misleading because it's not
there's not going to be much else work I got to do on these captions because they're speaking so clearly, right? The audio is so good, They know what they're saying. It's very scripted. And you can actually also even import your scripts. Forget exactly how to do it. Import static transcript, and it will actually correct it. So like here, Carlson and Demir, it's a D-E-M-I-R. We want D-U-M-M-E-R. So if you put your transcript in there, it'll already have everything you need, but that doesn't always work because they usually don't follow the script to a T, which is what you want. So I don't do that. Just letting you know that is a function. So I'm going to transcribe this. So boom, this is Scott's A rule. Highlight it. Easy peasy. Again, you go to captions, create captions from transcript to style. We're going to use the style that we already did. And single lines. Make sure that you're creating text styles for all your different brands that you work with and for your own brand. So boom.
Did you know?
It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. And so now we have all five Scott's reels chopped up, all 5 of Brian's reels chopped up. What I would do now is highlight each one, create subsequences for each, so I have a separate sequence and a separate timeline for each reel that I'm going to export to them. So I can also batch export them through Adobe Media Encoder all at once. So I don't have to export, wait. I can highlight all of them in my project like so, and then go to export media, and then it'll bring me to Adobe Media Encoder. So make sure you have that installed if you have the Adobe suite. What else would I do? I would add their branding. So just coming here, I have kind of an outro graphic saved for them right here that I whipped up in After Effects. So I'll throw this at the end of all of them. Boom, with their number, which this is actually the wrong one. Let's see if we can find the right one. I should delete that. That's the old one. Let's go move the trash. The new one, which is here, which is their new number. I had their old number before, which was when I first started working with them a couple of years ago.
From the ground up.
Boom. Simple.
From the ground up.
And I like to kind of fade the music out. I like to kind of have this fade in over the top. But that is essentially it, ladies and gentlemen.
From the ground up.
That is how you go about batch editing. A whole bunch of reels. Let's see, what are we at for time? Just under 2 hours. Just under a 2-hour live stream. Great work. I think I'm going to end it here. We went over how to organize in Premiere, in bins, adding sequences, why you should be using different sequences. We went ahead and edited and made mark points essentially for all the B-roll and made a new sequence of just all those marked out cut points of the great B-roll. All shot in slow-mo, by the way. Put in a 24 timeline so you can slow it down. And we edited all of the A-roll for both Brian and Scott. So we have that. Then we added captions to all of it all together. Remember, in a batch. That's why you would want to do it in the full A-roll add captions instead of in all of the separate reels that we're going to make next with the subsequences. So you can automatically just do it all in one long transcript. And we added some branding. We added some branding at the end. This is in log, so it's going to need some contrast, as everything will in this. But that is it. That is where I'm going to end the live stream. Joey, fire content. Thank you, my man. Thank you so much. Glad you popped in. Plan on doing this more often when I feel up for it. And I want to give out some value, some sauce. I want to make some more longer form, value-driven style content, educational pieces, and just help the community, help people express themselves and deliver their messages. So, thank you for joining. just to kind of give you what's next for this project. If I don't end up going on live to wrap this up, I'm going to make subsequences out of all this, like I showed you highlighting this, and make separate subsequences for each and every one, and then titling them. So I'd listen.
Being falsely accused of a
I'd go boom. Shift U, project. I would go falsely accused, and there you have your own reel
being falsely
in a subsequence. Start time 0. Just some extra sauce, because when you do a subsequence, it starts the timeline where you pulled it from in the other sequence. So just going to hitting the 3 dots by the sequence, going to start time and making it 0 allows you to start fresh, and you can see the exact time codes in that subsequence. And so yeah, once I separate all of these into separate subsequences, I will go into each of these subsequences and touch it up with B-roll and any stock footage or graphics that add to the project. Shout out Nicholas, who does motion graphics. Might need some motion graphics for my guy, or just the stock websites that I am subscribed to. So yeah, and then obviously color grading, adding music, adding sound effects, all go a long way. And with these guys, sometimes, this is all free organic content. None of it's really paid. So from the best one that we really like, that performs the most, we'll maybe even boost it or run an ad with it, or just kind of get a better understanding of what viewers are liking, what people want to see. And we'll, don't try to reinvent the wheel, just keep going with what works. So that is about it. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Joey. You are the man. Nicholas, you're the man. Dill, Omar, Livy, Vimy Scout, everyone who joined, thank you so much. That's going to do it. Just under a 2-hour stream. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day here, or night if you're in a different country. I don't know. Have a beautiful one. Peace. End stream now.